Timms was a man of discipline and high standards. He carried himself with poise, a commanding presence that made people respect him without him needing to say much. At 35, he was a wealthy businessman, strikingly handsome, and the kind of man who caught every woman's eye. However, unlike most men in his position, Timms did not entertain multiple relationships. He was a one-woman man. His younger sister, Sharon, was the only person he was truly soft for. He adored her and always made sure she had everything she needed. She was in her final year at the university, and over the years, she had formed an inseparable bond with her best friend, Beauty. Beauty was a Hausa girl from the north, with delicate yet striking features. Her deep brown eyes always held an air of mystery, and her skin glowed like polished bronze under the sun. She was soft-spoken but had a lively spirit that made people feel at ease around her. Sharon and Beauty had met in university, and their friendship grew stronger with each passing year. They shared secrets, encouraged each other through tough times, and had even planned a vacation together. It was during this vacation preparation that Beauty came to stay at Sharon's house, a house that belonged to Timms. Timms was out of town on a business trip at the time, so Beauty had the opportunity to stay comfortably, helping Sharon pack and plan for their long-anticipated girls' trip. The day Timms returned home from his trip, he expected nothing unusual. However, as he walked into his house, he was met with a sight that stopped him in his tracks. Beauty stood in the living room, wearing a simple yet elegant floral dress. Her long, dark hair cascaded down her shoulders as she adjusted a vase on the table. She turned when she heard him enter, and for a brief moment, their eyes locked. Something about her captivated him instantly. It wasn't just her beauty, it was the way she carried herself, her calmness, the softness in her smile. Beauty, on the other hand, felt her heart skip a beat. Timms was a fine man. Tall, well-built, with sharp features that made him look effortlessly attractive. She had seen pictures of him before, but seeing him in person was something else entirely. That evening, Beauty found herself moving around the house more often. She helped Sharon with little things, offering to bring drinks, clean up, or organize things in the living room, anything that would make Timms notice her. Sharon eventually caught on and laughed. "You like my brother, don't you?" she teased. Beauty hesitated before nodding. "He's handsome," she admitted. "But I know a man like him won't just fall for any woman. He probably has high standards." Sharon smiled knowingly. "He does. But if you really want him to notice you, don't chase him. Let him come to you." Beauty took her advice to heart. The day of the girls' vacation trip arrived. Timms had grown accustomed to seeing Beauty around the house, and now she was leaving. He didn't know why, but he felt a small sense of disappointment. Before they left, he made sure to ask, "Where are you both going?" "Zanzibar," Sharon answered with excitement. Timms nodded and turned to Beauty. "I hope you enjoy yourself," he said, his voice deep and smooth. Beauty smiled. "Thank you. I will." That was the moment Beauty knew she had caught his attention. During the vacation, Beauty often found herself talking about Timms. Even without realizing it, he was on her mind. What she didn't know was that Timms was also thinking about her. Every night, he found himself checking in on Sharon, not because he was overly concerned about her trip, but because he wanted to know how Beauty was doing. "Are you two okay? How's the vacation?" he would ask. Sharon, of course, noticed this. "We're fine. And yes, Beauty is fine too," she teased. When Beauty and Sharon returned home, something had shifted. Timms was subtler than most men, but he was interested now. He started paying more attention to Beauty, not in an obvious way, but in small, careful gestures. He would ask if she needed anything, offer her a drink, or simply observe her from a distance. One evening, as Sharon was out with friends, Beauty found herself alone in the house with Tim's. He was working on his laptop in the living room when he noticed her standing by the balcony. "It's a beautiful night," he said, closing his laptop. Beauty turned and smiled. "It really is." He walked over and stood beside her, both of them looking out into the city lights. "Do you like Lagos?" he asked. "I do," Beauty replied. "But I miss the north sometimes. The quiet, the familiar faces." Tim's nodded. "I've never been to the north. Maybe one day, I'll visit." Beauty looked up at him, her heart beating slightly faster. "Maybe one day, I'll show you around," she said softly. That was it. The moment when the walls began to fall. Their bond grew stronger in the following weeks. Beauty didn't chase Tim's, but she didn't hold back her interest either. She let him pursue her, and that made all the difference. Tim's became a constant presence in her life. It started with small things, inviting her to small outings, coffee, dinner, or a drive around town. He would always find a way to sit close to her in the living room when she and Sharon were watching TV. He would gently brush her fingers when handing her something, letting his touch linger just a little too long. When Sharon wasn't home, he'd invite her to lunch, saying, "I don't like eating alone." The worst part, the way he looked at her. Tim's had this deep, unreadable stare, as if he was memorizing her face, as if she was the only woman in the world. One night, Beauty sat on the couch, scrolling through her phone, when she noticed Tim's watching her. "Why are you looking at me like that?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. He smirked but didn't look away. "You look different tonight." His voice was low, intimate, dangerous. Beauty's heart pounded. What was he doing to her? But even with all this attention, Tim's never said anything directly. He never made a move, never spoke about his feelings. And it was driving Beauty insane. After weeks of Tim's leading her on, Beauty couldn't take it anymore. One evening, she found him sitting outside by the pool, sipping a glass of whiskey. The golden light from the setting sun cast shadows across his sharp features. Taking a deep breath, she walked up to him. "Tim's, why are you doing this to me?" she asked, her voice firm. He looked up, frowning slightly. "Doing what?" "You know exactly what I mean," she shot back. "You act like you're interested, like you want me. But you never say anything. Do you feel something for me, or am I imagining things?" Tim's went silent. For the first time, he looked uncertain. He placed his glass down and leaned forward. "Beauty, I do like you. But I don't want to rush this." She stared at him, waiting for more. "But that was it. That's all you have to say," she whispered. Tim sighed. I want to take things slow. I don't want to hurt you." Beauty let out a short, bitter laugh. "Slow. Or are you scared?" Tim's didn't answer. That was all the confirmation she needed. Feeling frustrated and hurt, Beauty stormed back inside, her emotions a mess. She had risked her heart, and now he was pulling away. From that night, Tim's changed. He stopped looking at her the way he used to. He no longer found reasons to sit close to her. He stopped texting her little things like, "Did you eat today?" It was as if he had forced himself to shut off his emotions. And Beauty, she felt like she was losing her mind. "He's avoiding me, Sharon. I don't get it. He said he liked me, but now he's acting like I don't exist." Sharon listened, her heart breaking for her best friend. Beauty's eyes welled up with tears as she spoke, and when one tear finally slipped down her cheek, Sharon felt something snap inside her. Tim's had gone too far. She had never picked anyone over her brother before. But now, she was choosing Beauty. That night, Sharon barged into Tim's study, slamming the door behind her. "We need to talk." Tim's, startled by her anger, set down his phone. "What's wrong?" "What's wrong?" she repeated. "Tim's, do you even know what you're doing to Beauty?" He frowned. I told her I wanted to take things slow. No. Sharon cut him off. You led her on. You made her fall for you. And now you're pretending she doesn't exist. Do you think that's fair? Tim sighed, rubbing his temples. I never meant to hurt her, Sharon. I don't know how to handle this. Sharon shook her head in disbelief. That's not good enough. Because right now, she's crying because of you. And I can't just sit and watch my best friend suffer. Tim's clenched his jaw. Hearing that Beauty had cried because of him hurt more than he expected. What do you want me to do? He muttered. If you love her, stop running. If you don't, let her go completely. But don't play with her heart. For the first time in a long time, Tim's had no control over a situation. And it terrified him. The next evening, Beauty sat in the garden, lost in thought. Then, she heard footsteps. She turned, and there he was. Tim stood before her, his eyes filled with something she had never seen before. Vulnerability. I need to tell you something, he said. She stayed silent, waiting. He swallowed hard. I never knew anything could scare me, until I met you. Beauty's breath caught in her throat. Falling for you wasn't the plan, Beauty. But it happened. And I pulled away because I didn't know how to handle it. But I can't do that anymore. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a folded piece of paper. I wrote something for you, he said softly. Can I read it? Beauty nodded, her heart pounding. Then, he began. Your laughter is the song my heart memorized before I knew what love was. Your eyes hold the kind of warmth that makes a man want to stay forever. And if forever means standing beside you, then that's exactly where I want to be. By the time he finished, tears slipped down Beauty's face. Be mine, Beauty, he whispered. She nodded, unable to speak. And just like that, after all the confusion, the pain, the waiting, Tim's was finally hers.